While your phone tells you the time for free, these watches charge the price of a beach house just to tick once. But you're not paying for punctuality, you're buying into legacy, precision, and flex that doesn't whisper but screams. From diamond-loaded tourbillons to handcrafted movements, thinner than a dime, here are the top 10 most luxurious watch brands ruling the wrists of the ultra-rich. Number 10. Jaeger-LeCoultre. If luxury watches had a think tank, Jaeger-LeCoultre would be its brain. Born in 1833 in Switzerland's Valais de Joux, JLC is where horology's most obsessive minds go to play and build movements so small they once fit inside a ring. At $4,300, the Reverso Classic Monoface might seem modest until you flip the case and discover its origin. A 1931 design built for polo players who needed a dial that could survive a match. Charlie Chaplin wore one. Elton John still does. But this isn't a celebrity brand. It's a legacy factory. Their Atmos Transparente clock runs on air, quite literally. Their Hybris Mechanica has 19 complications, including moon phases and chimes that sound like poetry. And in 2022, they dropped a glass timepiece so impossibly complex, it made seasoned collectors pause mid-sip. With 40,000 watches produced a year and artisans bent over microscopes threading gears thinner than hair, Jaeger-LeCoultre whispers wealth in fluent and flawless Swiss style. Number 9. Jacob & Company. Jacob Arabo didn't come to play subtle. The man built Jacob & Company to be the wristwear equivalent of a private jet doing donuts in front of a paparazzi pit. At $5,000, the Epic X skeleton gets you in the door, but it's the $18 million billionaire watch that sent Conor McGregor's wrist into orbit after UFC 2023. Jacob's designs aren't just watches, they're kinetic sculptures. The Astronomia? A galaxy spinning inside crystal, retailing at $1.2 million. The Bugatti Chiron watch? It's got a working W16 engine inside that revs when you press a button. Not even kidding. And the hip-hop royalty? Well, they absolutely love it. 50 cents 5-time zone piece still turns heads. Collectors fight over limited drops like it's Comic-Con for billionaires. In 2023, a Batman collab sold out instantly, and by 2024, Jacob was selling out of watches before most people even heard about them. Horology is one thing, but what this brand has established is pageantry, it's chaos, it's luxury with its shirt off and sunglasses on. Welcome to the circus. Number 8. Blancpain. Founded in 1735, before America even had a president, Blancpain is pure old-world finesse with deep-sea grit. Their $13,000 Villeray Ultraplate is minimalist elegance at its finest. But the real legend? The 50 Fathoms. A 1953 pioneer so robust, it birthed the entire category of modern dive watches. James Cameron wore one for Avatar, The Way of Water. The man dove trenches with it. You know it's real. Blancpain doesn't chase trends but build icons. The 1735 Grand Complication took a decade to make and has over 700 parts. But what's even more astounding is that only 5 of such watches exist. They never needed marketing because what they do is monk-level craftsmanship. In 2024, their Labister Carousel, a tourbillon-defying gravity machine, sold for $1.8 million and had collectors salivating in Geneva. With over 400 patents and fewer than 40,000 watches a year, Blancpain feels more like a secret society than a brand. You don't just wear it, you inherit it, because it's a generational-long flex. Number 7. Breguet. Breguet's been crafting wrist royalty since before wrists even had watches. Founded in 1775 in Paris by Abraham Louis Breguet, this brand literally invented the tourbillon, that spinning little cage that makes collectors drool. At $15,000, the Classique 5177 buys you into a legacy worn by Napoleon on the battlefield and Rihanna at the Met Gala. Both icons. Same taste. And then there's the Marie Antoinette pocket watch, a 40-year project so lavish, it finished 34 years after she died. It's valued at $30 million and is considered the Mona Lisa of timepieces. But Breguet doesn't rest on antique laurels. The 2023 Type XX chronograph brought aviation chic into the jet age, while the Marine GMT dropped anchor at Monaco's yacht show in rose gold, causing a minor frenzy. So far, it has 600 artisans and over 300 horological innovations under its belt, which is exactly why Breguet is a balance of French flair and mechanical dominance. It's for people who want to wear history, but also make some. Number 6. Audemars Piguet. In 1972, Audemars Piguet looked at the watch world of gold cases, dainty dials, and polite restraint, and basically said, "Nah, let's do it my way." That's when the Royal Oak came into being, a chunky, angular stainless steel beast that broke every design rule and still wound up on every billionaire's wish list. It started at $3,000 when it launched. Today, the quartz version rings in at $20,700. And that's before custom gems or celebrity provenance. And mind you, because this isn't for the ordinary, LeBron James wears it, Jay-Z collects it. The 2022 Black Panther collab, $170,000 and sold out in minutes. It was a watch, inspired by a Marvel character, that caused Geneva collectors to fight like Comic-Con superfans. AP's movements are master level, the kind of complication-stuffed calibers that turn engineering students into fans. Their tourbillons don't just spin, they float. Their minute repeaters chime like crystal rain, and their artisans hammer bezels into octagons with surgical confidence. But what truly sets Audemars apart is its nerve. It took a risky idea, wrapped it in steel, and built a cult out of it. The Royal Oak is a proof that boldness, when executed flawlessly, becomes legend. Number 5. F.P. Journe. If watch brands were musicians, F.P. Journe would be the cult jazz genius everyone in the industry worships, but only a few actually wear. Founded in 1999 by François-Paul Journe, this Geneva-based atelier produces just 800 watches a year. Yes, you read that right. Some luxury brands make more in a week. For $26,000, you can own the Chronomètre Bleu, a deceptively simple piece with a tantalum case and a dial so blue it looks like it was plucked from a satellite photo. Benedict Cumberbatch wore one while filming Doctor Strange, not just as a prop, but as his actual watch. Journe's creations are poetic and precise. The Astronomique Souveraine? A $1.8 million mechanical planetarium for your wrist. The Resonance? A dual heart movement where two balance wheels beat in sync like a horological love song. Journe isn't after mass appeal, but perfection that only a select few can afford. Every rotor is engraved in gold. Every complication is crafted to whisper, not shout. This is not for casual collectors. It's for those who want the rarest tick in the room and probably already own it. Number 4. Vacheron Constantin. Since 1755, Vacheron Constantin has done one thing: craft watches that look like they belong in the Louvre but function like they're built for space travel. At $33,000, the entry-level 56 automatic opens the door. But make no mistake, this isn't a starter watch. This is heritage on the wrist. Ryan Reynolds wore the overseas chronograph in Deadpool 3. A subtle flex, considering the brand's been favored by everyone from Napoleon to Jay-Z. Their 57,260, with 57 complications, is literally the most complex mechanical watch ever made. That $10 million piece didn't just tell time, it told time's life story. In 2024, their Harmony monopusher chronograph made headlines again, this time decked out in platinum with sapphire crystal curves sharper than a concept car. And the Patrimony Retrograde, a $2 million calendar wizard that doesn't even pretend to care about modesty. Vacheron is art. It's craft. It's what happens when 600 Geneva artisans spend generations perfecting the heartbeat of royalty. Number 3. Lange Söhne. Germany doesn't usually scream watch luxury, but Lange Söhne doesn't scream at all. It just glows, quietly, powerfully. Founded in 1845 in the sleepy hills of Glashütte, this brand took Prussian engineering and gave it a poetic heartbeat. At $77,300, the Saxonia Thin is a minimalist's dream. All clean lines, gold markers, and flawless restraint. But beneath that calm surface, absolute madness. The Grand Complication has 1,098 parts, costs more than a Rolls-Royce Phantom, and takes over a year to build. Their Zeitwerk Honey Gold? A jumping numerals marvel that looks like an Apple Watch designed by Beethoven. Chris Pine wore one to a Star Trek premiere, not to flex, just because he could. Lange doesn't mass-produce. They barely produce at all. Every plate is hand-engraved. Every balance cock-etched by a single artist. Their double-split chronograph? A $1.8 million micro-mechanical miracle that can time two things at once. Number 2. Patek Philippe. $88,600 plus. Patek Philippe isn't just a brand, it's the standard, the flex behind the flex. The name whispered in hushed tones at private auctions where watches go for more than yachts. At $88,600, the Aquanaut, your invitation into the highest circle of watch royalty. Tom Holland wore the Nautilus to the Spider-Man premiere, but don't think it's just a red carpet, darling. The Grandmaster chime sold for $31 million at auction. Not for hype, for charity. And because it's the most complicated Patek ever made, with 2 faces and more complications than your favorite drama series. Every Patek is hand-finished to perfection, with traditional Geneva, striping and secrets only visible under a loupe. Their patents? Over 100 of them, including the annual calendar and Gyromax balance. Want one? Cool. But now you have to wait for years. Yes, this is the usual waiting time to get your hands on a Patek Philippe watch, unless of course you know someone. Patek doesn't care about demand, they care about legacy. You never actually own a Patek Philippe, their slogan goes. You merely look after it for the next generation. And no, it's not a metaphor. It's a promise backed by 3 centuries of being that brand. Number 1. Richard Mille. $60,000 plus. If every other brand on this list whispers wealth, Richard Mille kicks the door in wearing a $2 million sapphire skeleton. Founded in 1999 by a French madman with an F1 obsession, the brand exploded onto the scene with a simple idea. What if your watch looked like it belonged in a Bond car chase? At $60,000, the RM016 Extra Flat is the entry-level model, which is cute, considering the RM56-02 Sapphire clocks in at $2 million and looks like it was carved out of a glacier by aliens. Usain Bolt wore the RM27-04 to the 2024 Olympics. It's lighter than a credit card and tougher than the track beneath him. Richard Mille watches aren't just watches, they're tech sculptures. They use materials like graphene, carbon nanotubes, and titanium mesh, usually reserved for space programs. And despite the futuristic look, every movement is hand-assembled in Switzerland by artisans trained to tweak tolerances thinner than a hair. Only 5,000 are made each year. Celebs fight for them. Collectors hoard them. Flippers mark them up to Mars. Richard Mille has truly redefined watchmaking in his own unapologetic image. And if you're lucky enough to wear one, you're not just rich, you're in the club. And these were the 10 most expensive and opulent watch brands in the world. Which one impressed you the most? Let it all out in the comments section, and don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share.